So in my early career out of college, I was a production manager. Being a production manager means that you're just trying to make the whole process go more quickly and efficiently. You want to make sure that the right materials are available when the staff comes in, wants to do their job so that the staff can be efficient and the project gets finished in time. And you want to look ahead at all the projects that are coming up and plan for those. The next thing that I did was I was a graphic artist working from home, and that involved a lot of scheduling. I had to choose pretty carefully how to use my off-the-clock time. But now I'm retired and just doing art at home, and I'm finding that I need a production manager and a scheduler. So I was thinking about that. How can I have a system, an organizational system, that doesn't change what I'm doing, but just gets me organized so that when I want to do something, it's all there for me? If you took all the eating utensils in your kitchen and you threw them all into one drawer, and it's a big mess. So then if anyone in the house needs a spoon, they've got to dig around and look for the spoon. The project manager comes in and puts one of those divider things in. And now all the spoons are together and all the forks and knives. And although they didn't change the content, they did change the way they're organized. So that when you come in and need a spoon, it's there. It's always been there, but now it's organized. I think when I come to the drawer of my ideas, it's all a big jumble. So that's what happens to me. It feels like sort of like traffic gridlock. I cannot see what's next because it's so many ideas crashing into each other. I think an organizational system takes what you're already doing, what you're already thinking, and just organizes it so that when it's time for you to do the work or do a piece of art, your ideas have all been figured out and sorted. They're all in the little slots. You decide your own level of organization. That's the first part. What I did was for the last 3 months, is I've just been thinking about it and trying some different systems, notebooks, looking at other things on Pinterest. And I've tried a couple of different methods. And so I'm going to show you the way that I do it, the way that I think about it, which this might be kind of hard to. It was hard for me to get it into words, so it might be hard for you to get my words to make sense. And also, this is my organization. I might have only spoons in my drawer, but you might prefer to have forks. So I'm not saying you need to do what I do. I just want to show you kind of how to go about it. And then the other thing I was going to say was one of the things that I found about trying the planner systems that I've found online is that they're also trying to replace the utensils as well. Instead of giving you a general idea so that you can go and sort your own stuff, they want to give you the stuff as well. The things they're organizing aren't the same things I'm organizing. What I did was I just did this in Illustrator, and I'm recording a screenshot through QuickTime. This is my whole artboard, and I have little images here. So I did this so that you if you wanted to stop and screenshot anything so that you can think through your part of this, it might be helpful to have it written down. So the first part is I came up with 3 words, which is the system that I'm using: capture, sort, and keep. Capture, and I used butterflies as an image. I think of my captures as little butterflies. It's shower thoughts. It's something I heard someone say, a pun, a joke, a color combination. It's just little stuff. The things that I wish I wouldn't forget, and then something happens, a new butterfly flies by it, and I forget what the other butterfly was. I think it's important to have a system for capturing, and it can be anything. The idea is, and this is why I have a little shopping cart, is to figure out some different capture systems. I use, let's see, what do I use? I have Google, I use Apple Calendar and Google Calendar, where I just write it in there while I'm out. Think of these like the kinds of things that you jot down have a shower thought, for example, and I might tell my SIRI on my phone to send it to myself as a text message or write it on a scrap of paper. And then lately I've formalized this a little bit more, and I have two notebooks, one that's a little larger and one that's smaller for travel, for like my purse or car. I'm calling them workbooks. At first I was calling them inbox, which was someone else's word that sounded good, but it's not quite. It's more of, it's a capturing system. It's a cute notebook, and it's a nice pen, and there's no order to it. Just write things down. Just make sure you get it written down. So a little later, I realized that if you do use Notebook, consider having an index. And then, so you've captured, so yay, that's the first part. Okay, so the next thing I want to talk to you about is routine and systems. A system is a group of actions that accomplishes something. A routine is the timing of that group of actions or action. You routinely do something and you have reasons for doing it, and it's a group of actions. Everybody knows how to do systems, and everybody knows how to do routine. It feels daunting to do it with ideas, so I would recommend that you figure out a time of week or month that you routinely sort through your captures. If you prefer, do it once a day. I do it once a week. And then you can also attach it to something. For example, I write in my journal when I drink my coffee, because I'm always going to be drinking coffee in the morning. So now I have attached the routine of writing in my journal. You want to have a routine of sorting. You can do it all at once. You can do it in little bits. So what I've done is there's this thing called the Eisenhower matrix. I don't know the history of it. I don't know why it's called Eisenhower. And then I interpreted it. It's more like management for like a management tool, project management, but I'm trying to use it for myself in this situation. So you have urgent, not urgent, important, and not important. The difference between urgent and important is urgent has to do with whether it needs to be done right away, and important means, do you care about the outcome? So if it's important and urgent, then just do it now. So those notes that you wrote yourself, you ask yourself, is this urgent? Is this phone number, do I need to write this phone number into my address book right now? Is it important? Do it now. But they don't have to be huge, monumental tasks. They can be little tiny ones. The next one, is it important and not urgent? It might be, I've been looking at, I don't know, color combinations. They are super important. I'm really interested in color combinations, but they're not urgent. There's no time. So I'll hold on to it, and they become a do it later thing. You could schedule it for later even. The next one is, it is urgent. It needs to happen right away, but it's not important to, I don't care about the outcome. I'm having a hard time finding an art-related or creative example. I suppose you could ask a friend to proofread for you, but that still involves other people. So the thing that I was thinking is grocery store. I don't like going to the grocery store, but I don't want other people to choose my produce. So I order all the non-produce, and I go to pick up, but I go a little bit early and I do my own produce. I bring it to the car, and then I get the rest of the stuff. So I'm still, I care about the outcome of the produce, but I don't care about if you're shopping for, cans of food and boxes of stuff. It's not like they have to check for freshness and stuff the way you do with produce. So in the Eisenhower matrix, they actually call this delegation. So what you're trying to do is find shortcuts. And the other one is also food related. If there's instead of making fresh biscuits, you can just buy pre-made biscuits. Do you know what I mean? So be able to decide whether this thing that is this butterfly is something that somebody else could handle, If it's still urgent, I think of groceries as something that needs to happen at a certain time, but I don't always need to do it. And then the last one is, if it's not urgent and it's not important, I can skip it. In the Eisenhower matrix, they want you to throw it away. Well, as an artist, I often don't want to throw my ideas away, so because they might be good ideas later. So I still track them, but I don't need to worry about them. So that's what I wrote here. That you're sorting your butterflies. I'm going to go through the exact same list again. 1. So you have 4 categories. They're important and they're urgent. It needs immediate attention. Either do it or schedule it right away. I use Tuesdays as my administrative day. So if there's anything that's sort of book work, call the electric company, I just schedule it for Tuesday, and now I can throw that note away because I know I've scheduled it for Tuesday. If it's important but not urgent, I keep a list. I have so many lists. I have so many things I want to do, a lot of ideas. I have some gardening ideas, and now I have a place for them. Before, I had all kinds of places for them. I kept thinking I needed a board on the wall for Post-it notes, but now I have them in a book, and they're all in the same place, so I can go to that book now, this one that's over here. And there's an asterisk here because I wanted to talk to you about routine, which I did already. Doing something regularly is what makes it routine. So I go through my stuff once a day quickly, just today's stuff today. And then once a week, usually on Sundays, I kind of go over the whole past week and I plan the upcoming week. And it takes maybe 30 to 90 minutes. That's when I get my stickers out and my stamps, and I kind of make a meal of it. I have fun and go through my lists, and I cross things out. This is important. Once you cross it out, one of your captures, you have my permission to throw that away once you've sort of transcribed it to one of these places over here that's on this next category. Okay, important but not urgent. So they are super important, and you need to have a way to write them down. The third one is urgent but not important, so deal with it quickly, offload it to somebody else, buy it pre-made. It's okay to do just enough. Like, have you ever seen when people tape their hems of their pants up to go to an event, and then just for the one event? If it's urgent but not important, you can kind of half-ass these things. And then not urgent, not important, you can discard or you can archive. You can just keep a collection of just ideas, random thoughts. Okay, and then so here's my keeping system. So yours will be different. So what I'm saying is to imagine bins. And I have this all written out on a sheet that I have in a page protector so that I can refer to it. And I look at one of these things and I think about it this way, and then it goes into one of these. So not urgent, not important often goes in the trash can. So actually I can put this here. Not urgent, not important. Digital is appointments and lists, and I've stopped writing appointments anywhere else. I only need an online calendar. And then lists would be grocery store, Christmas cards list. I'm not doing it this year, but okay, so digital, however you want to do it. The next one is disposable, and so that's this little notebook. I have, I think I told you, 2 notebooks, and when I write my junk, my capture the butterflies on a page, then I transcribe them and make these decisions about them. I will actually cut the page out with scissors. It's really satisfying. And you can keep these too, but it's kind of fun to throw them away. It feels like you did something. I do memory keeping, which is this. And in memory keeping, I do 1 photo a day and a little description of what happened that day. It's also where I track stuff like my weight or the weather. And the way I do it, it's in a traveler's notebook, and I do one notebook per month. And um, I put the name of the month on the cover, and then at the end of the month, I get to start a new notebook. It's kind of fun. And I put it together every Sunday is when I recap the past week and I look ahead to the upcoming week. And then my personal archives are these two books. I'm currently using 3-ring binders. You could do these into anything, but I like the loose leaf system. For me, it's my personal archive, or whatever you want to call it, is everything that's not family or home. And then the other one, the home one, is like if I was on vacation for a week and nobody could contact me, would the people in my house be able to look stuff up, like what bills are due, what's the name of the doctor, stuff like that. So it's kind of like the in case of emergency, but it's more robust. I don't know if this helps. Let me conclude by just sort of quickly going back over it and make sure I haven't missed any points. All these creative ideas are like butterflies. You have to capture them somehow. You need to have a couple different ways to capture them. They are valuable to you. Don't let anyone else tell you they're not. If you use a notebook, you might consider putting an index in the front. It can be super messy, and the idea is that the notebook is temporary. It's just a place to hold the butterflies temporarily in your little grocery cart until you get them home, and you can sort through them and decide which category they belong in using the Eisenhower matrix. And the Eisenhower matrix is meant to help you figure out whether it's something you need to do right away, or if it's important but you don't need to do it right away. It's urgent, but you don't have to do it, or you can skip it or reschedule it, like kind of blow it off. You want to sort of give them this rating and at the same time get them into a system. So, and then the last part is about routine. Or I don't know, the important part is about routine and systems. They say it takes 90 days to establish a habit, but I think it only takes a couple of weeks. For me, it does. But yet they have to be small. I'd recommend that you work on the capture part first and really honor every idea that you have and just write them all down. And don't lose them. Get them all to your desk or your drawer or whatever your one place is, so that you can eventually start a routine of flipping through them and deciding whether they're important and then whether you're keeping them or not. So you can come up with your own words for things. It took me a while to realize that this is the way that I do things, and words are very important to me. So I like capture, sort, keep, because this is the action that I'm doing, is capturing my ideas. The next one is sorting it to decide whether, I need to sort through it. The other one is actually putting them away and making them look kind of pretty, because I think having them look cute is important. I don't just want notebooks with writing in them. I want them to look cute. So I get to use all my stickers and stamps. And I love routine. As a very creative person, I have found that having routine adds sort of a foundational, like a skeleton to my day or my life. And then once I sort of know the skeleton or the basics, then I can be creative, because I feel unburdened when there's a basic structure. Okay, thanks for listening. Let me know what you think.